This is the story of how tides were formed. At the beach, when the water is way out and it's low tide, we call that haye. Haye is low tide. And when the water is way up and close to the shore, at high tide, we call that murshik. So, there was a time long ago when there were no tides and the water was only up very high and it was very stormy and very, very windy. This is the story about how the tides came to the people. The chief of the day was Sawbill Duck. And at this time, life was very challenging because it was hard to get food for all of the people. Sawbill Duck knew that around a sharp rocky point way out on the shore, where the winds blew very strong and the storms pushed huge waves that always crashed upon the rocks, around that point was a house, and inside that house lived the Wind People. So Sawbill Duck thought that if they could make it to their house and fight them, then maybe the winds will stop, and it might become easier for his people to gather food. So Sawbill Duck gathered all of his people, and he suggested the idea of going to find the house. The robin was the first to volunteer, and he flew in the wind and made his way very carefully through the strong, strong winds. The people couldn't see him anymore as he rounded the point, far down the beach, where the water was very rough. Robin made it around and went and flew towards where the people of Wind lived in their house. As Robin got to the house, he looked inside from the cracks in the wall, and he could see that the Wind People were all inside the house, sleeping. And there was a big fire in the center of the house. Robin quietly made his way inside, and all of the Wind People were still fast asleep. Robin got closer to the fire. It was so warm and mesmerizing. Robin sat by the fire and kind of became hypnotized by it and didn't move. Many days went by, and Sawbill Duck waited and waited and waited for Robin to return, but he never did. So Sawbill Duck gathered more of the people. This time Chims, the big bear, said, "I'll do it," and he went trying to get around the point where the big rocks and the big waves and the strong winds were all going at the same time. Chims turned around and said, "I can't do it." Then Sequotin the eagle said, "I'll try." And Sequotin flew as hard as it could, but the winds were too strong, and Sequotin had to turn back around. One by one, all of the different life forms tried, and they couldn't do it. So Sawbill Duck said to his sidekick, Quatyat, "Go and get Sardine. He might be able to swim around." So Quatyat went and found Sardine, and instead of telling him what the chief Sawbill Duck wanted, Quatyat played a trick on Sardine, and he pulled his eyes very close together, and they looked funny to Quatyat. And he said, "There, now your eyes are very close together," and he left. What a strange thing for Quatyat to do. So he went back, and when he went back to see the chief asked, "Did you tell Sardine to come? We need his help." And Quatyat lied to the chief, and he said, "Yeah, I told him he should be here anytime." Well, a day went by, and then another, and then another. Sardine never came, because Sardine was never told to go see the chief. Quatyat played a trick. Well, the chief was thinking and thinking and thinking about how he could get across that windy point to be able to get to the people of Wind's house. He could hear a loud noise down by the shore. It's Emu, little sandpiper birds, were making a whole bunch of noise, chirping and chirping away. The chief told Quartiot, "Go and tell Inu to be quiet." So Quartiot went down to the shore. Its Inu were all making lots of noise. And he said, "Keep making the noise, the chief likes it." Again, Quartiot played a trick. So he went back to see the chief. The chief was very upset and frustrated. After some time, Winnie, the seagull, came. And he said, "I'll try. I can try to make it around the point." Everybody kind of laughed at Winnie because he wasn't known to be a very strong flyer. His eyesight was poor. He wasn't considered to be very strong. But Winnie knew that he should have a chance just like everybody else. So he gave it a try. And as he flew into the very strong, powerful winds that were coming toward him, he came up with a way to be able to fly through it. He zigzagged through the sky and found a way to fly through the stormy winds. All of the people watched, and they learnt how to get around the point from Winnie, the seagull. They all made it to where the people of Wind live, and they looked inside, and they could see Robin was inside, sitting next to the fire. They all rushed in and started to fight with the Wind people. One by one, the Wind people started to disappear. There was only one Wind person that was left. His name was Hutchleek. Hutchleek was the strongest, most powerful wind. He could see that Sawbill Duck and his people were very desperate and that their life was very challenging because of how windy it always was. Hutchleek offered Sawbill Duck a plan. He said that if we stop fighting, that I will make it so that the tide goes out once per day. That way, the water will go down low and your people will have a chance to go out and harvest food for each day. Sawbill Duck thought about it, and he thought, okay, that does sound like a good plan, but let's make it 2 times per day. So Hutchleek, the strong, powerful wind, agreed, and one by one, all of his Wind People family came back. And from that point forward, there was a low tide and a high tide, 2 times every day.